We've been moored for the last few days just outside Lancaster at Aldclyffe, and Shaun's been to Yorkshire to visit his family. But today we're on the move again, cruising the last couple of miles into Lancaster, where we're going to use the services and then set off towards Hest Bank, a coastal village, on the way to Carnforth, and then to the end of the navigable canal at Tewitfield. So how would you like your own boat garage with direct access to the Lancaster Canal? How cool is that? Shaun, we need one of these. Well, it's not the most welcoming of sights, is it? But this is Lancaster, home to the cathedral and the university, and it's why there's all this student accommodation as we come into the city. So we've moved on. We're about 20 minutes on and in Lancaster.
Right in the city centre.
Just filling up with water, emptying the pot. We're going to just nip and get a little bit of shopping, and then we're heading out over the Lune Aqueduct. I'm looking forward to that.
I am, yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
Might get the drone out for that. And then we're going out towards Hest Bank today, which is where it kind of starts hugging the coast.
Yeah.
Apparently you can see the sea from there as well. We're just hoping we can get a mooring, because we've been told that there's no moorings at the moment.
Busy.
So fingers crossed, wait and see what happens. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. The city centre moorings aren't exactly peaceful, and these bars alongside the canal do get pretty rowdy on an evening, especially with students. So after picking up enough supplies to last us a week or so, we're heading out back into the countryside and hopefully a more tranquil place to stay for the next few days. So no sooner does it kind of get all towny,
it turns all treey.
It gets all treey again. And you can tell that it's kind of a student town. So we're not far from the two aqueducts. The first one is the Bulk Road Aqueduct, which goes over a road. Might be why it's called road. And then the second one is like the main feature, that's the Lune Aqueduct. Why do we call it an aqueduct instead of a viaduct? Well, if it was a road or railway crossing here, it would be called a viaduct. But because it's carrying water, that's why we call it an aqueduct. It comes from Roman times when they used to build structures to move water from one place to another, so it's a Roman word. Designed by civil engineer John Rennie and completed in 1797, the spectacular Lune Aqueduct carries the Lancaster Canal 18 metres above the River Lune. It's got 5 arches and they extend 200 metres across from the south to the north bank. But when they were building it, there was a bit of a rush to get it completed in time, and that sent the final bill over 2.5 times over budget. That caused the canal company to run out of money, which explains why the Lancaster Canal was never joined to the main network after Preston. Not much has changed in the 220 years since John Rennie's aqueduct was built over the River Lune. The canal and most of the structures have stood the test of time. But the world moves on and new rail and road bridges have been built to keep up with the pace of travel in more modern times. This is Milestone Bridge. It looks very new and modern, doesn't it? It's Bridge 111A, and it carries the Bay Gateway, which is the A683, down to Heysham, to the docks and the railway down there. You can get the ferry over to Douglas in the Isle of Man. Not that we're going that way, we're going just a little bit further north towards Hest Bank. We're about half an hour away now. But this is nice, isn't it? I mean, all the traditional bridges are lovely, but this is just kind of really nice and wide and open. Ooh, stormy skies. It's amazing how people look at you funny when you've got a camera and they're on the towpath, if they're like on bikes or walking or running, and they're like, hello.
Yeah, they are.
So we're bombing along at about 900 RPM, about 2.5 miles an hour, trying to escape a hire boat that's been tailing us since Lancaster.
I think we've outrun it.
We've got our eye on a mooring just after bridge 116 at Hest Bank, and apparently there's one space left, and I know for a fact that if that hire boat was in front of us, they'd have it, wouldn't they? And we'd be like stranded. So sun's gone in, that's why the card is back on.
Yeah, it's a bit chilly.
It's alright when the sun comes out, it's really warm, but then as soon as it goes in, it's like, oh, -6. Another biker, let's see if he gives us that same weird stare that all the others do. Morning.
Morning.
He did. He's even looking back at us, isn't he?
Sun's come out again.
Yay! As soon as we switch the camera on, sun's out. We beat the hire boat. Remember we were saying we were guaranteed that he would get our spot?
He wanted it.
He wanted it! He tried to get in like right behind us. There's a space behind us here.
Not quite enough room for him.
It's just not quite, is it? So he's trying to moor up. He's moored up in front. Yay! Dylan's crying. What's up, Dylan? We're here at Hest Bank.
Hest.
Hest Bank. Hest Bank.
H-E-S-T.
Let me get my book. We're here at Hest Bank. It's only been a short cruise, hasn't it?
Yes.
We set off at what, about 8 o'clock, well, 7:30, but we called at the water point and
Yes.
to empty the pot, and it's now just before 11. Nice couple of hours, steady cruise, the
Yeah.
hire boat chasing us. You kind of come out of Lancaster and it opens out, and there's like just bits and pieces of roads and stuff in there.
Yeah.
You go over the first aqueduct, which is over the road, and then you go over the Lune Aqueduct.
That's beautiful.
It is, and we didn't have enough time to get some really good drone footage.
We were being chased.
We were being chased by that hire boat. So I hope you were all right with the little bit that we got, and we'll try and get some on the way back.
Yeah.
Colin's had a meltdown today. This has been sort of steadily happening over the last few days, and it's come to a head today. And he's taken off. He's taken off down the towpath, that way I think. And he's got no shoes on. All he's got on is a t-shirt and a pair of shorts. So, just got to wait for him to come back. One of the main reasons we moved onto the boat was to lessen Colin's stress, and to a major degree that has succeeded. I mean, this is only his second meltdown. I mean, the first one was during the move, which was London Marathon, moving out of the house and moving onto the boat. That really got to him, and things have just got on top of him this last few days with a few things that have been happening. I've been to a funeral, Dylan's been poorly, and it's just got to him. And he doesn't like to show this side of him. He likes people to see the happy side, the happy, joking Colin side. Unfortunately, it happened in front of other people today, and that will upset him even more. So we just have to wait for him to come back. So he should be all right, hopefully. That was 2 days ago, and that's the first time I've documented that. And the reason I did that is because people don't talk about mental health enough. And he's still not.
It's the first time you see me quiet, isn't it? It's the first time he's talked more than I have. People don't talk about it. I don't talk about it.
No, he doesn't.
That's the reason we wanted to do this. To cut back the amount of stress, to cut back on the triggers that cause these meltdowns.
And it has.
It has, yeah. It's not that nothing's changed now we're on the boat. I'm still going to have the meltdowns. I'm still going to have days like that.
It's not so often.
Still going to have the stress and the anxiety and the breakdowns. It's still going to happen, but the triggers that cause them are less. And I don't know.
Let's go back to jolliness, eh?
It's tough to talk about, mainly because I can't think of the words to describe what happens. I'm autistic and I have ADHD, and some things just mess with my head to the point where I can't process information normally anymore. I like a hyper anxious panic that overwhelms me and causes me to psychologically melt down, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. Shaun's my rock. He's my hero, and it's frightening and stressful for him too, but patience, quiet and time are the only things that can make it better, till it happens again.
Good morning.
Morning.
It is just gone 8 o'clock. Is it Monday? We get
No idea.
yeah, Monday
Yes.
morning.
Delivery of the sofa.
And yeah, it's new sofa day. We're still at Hest Bank, which is where you saw us last time, but the camera's pointing this way instead of that way, so it looks different. We're going to move this morning, but we're only moving literally maybe 400 or 500 yards.
Yeah.
Where we are, there's no access to the road, so we're going to move up the canal just to the end of the moorings, and there's access to a path. And that's where Kev from Bickerstaff is going to bring our new sofa.
Bigger
Hopefully.
sofa.
A bigger sofa.
Bigger sofa.
Dylan's looking forward to it more than we are.
Yeah.
So we're going to get the sofa delivered, and then today we're going to fill up with water and empty the pots and do some shopping in Carnforth.
Yes.
Ready?
Oh, I am.
Let's go.
No, you need to go right over to that side. It's right over. Okay, come back to me a bit then.
Yeah, I don't think we can because of the bulkhead.
That's it, turn it there now mate, turn it. So it wants to go that way, that's it. Nice and gentle. That's the one baby.
Yeah. I'll get you now.
What's that bulkhead behind you now mate?
Yeah, I've got it.
Let's put it down there. Let's put the legs on.
Oh yeah. Oh.
You heard it. Right, Kev's been. We've got the sofa, so we're off to Carnforth. So as we come out of Hest Bank, we've got these permanent moorings, and just look at the view from these moorings and the houses. That is pretty awesome. This would be a great winter mooring. Just looking out over the bay, it's brilliant.
Apart from on the Glasson branch, there's no locks on the main line of the Lancaster Canal. There is one swing bridge though, and we'll see a lot more of these as we get back onto the Leeds and Liverpool Canal. They're really simple to operate, you just need a bit of brute force. First of all, we unlock the pin that's holding the bridge in place, and then we push it to swing it open. Once the boat's passed by, we can swing it closed and lock it back into position. It sounds simple, and it is really, but when you get quite a few of them in a row, as you do on some canals, you are definitely ready for a cuppa and a big wedge of cake.
We're in Bolton Le Sands.
There's no sand.
There is some sand down there, but we're quite high up on the side of the hill, just hugging the hill, going round towards Carnforth.
Well, so much for plans to stay at Carnforth today. We can't get moored because the only space is really rocky and we just can't get the boats in towards the towpath without it banging against this rocky ledge under the water. So instead, we've stopped at the services. We're going to fill the water tank, empty the toilet, get rid of the rubbish, and Shaun's been to get some groceries. And now we can set off again to try and find somewhere to stop.
There's something a bit weird about coming out of Carnforth. It gets a bit House on the Hill. Is that movie? Is that what it was called?
Something like that.
The House on the, a bit like Friday the 13th. I don't know what it is. It just, if you come up here, you'll see what I mean. You come out of Carnforth and it kind of goes a bit windy, treey, and it all gets a bit, I don't know, just it felt creepy.
You can't moor.
Which is probably why Carnforth's full. The nettles are like that long. So we're going along, we're going to go under the M6 in about 5-10 minutes, and then after that it does open out a little bit.
Yeah, which is what we like.
We do like it open. Nice and wide and open, nobody about, near a shop, good internet.
Oh yeah.
No neighbours. It's not too much to ask, is it? I'm not being picky. Am I being picky?
No, you're not.
I'm not being picky at all.
Maybe I am being picky, I don't know. It would be nice to find a mooring like that though. The views as we leave the outskirts of Carnforth are just quite amazing. Well, between the busy roads with the traffic flying over as it is, the countryside opens out again, and even though the canal doesn't look like it's had much maintenance for a while, it does seem to add to that whole natural feel of things being out here as we head towards Capernwray. The only downside to all this lovely countryside is really the lack of any moorings. The Lancaster Canal is quite a destination type canal to visit, so it's really popular with hire boats and tourists, well, like us. Most of the canal though has got this sloping bank, and that stops you from mooring up. And here on this stretch the reeds are just too thick and high to get anywhere near the towpath. I hope we find somewhere soon.
This is the Capernwray arm.
Spooky.
It is proper spooky. It's not very long, it's only a couple of 300 yards long, and there's a big basin at the end of it.
Big turning circle.
And it used to serve a quarry. The quarry's not in use anymore, it's just all woodland now. And then there's this jetty and a couple of moorings just further up there. You can moor here for a week in the summer or 2 weeks in winter. I wouldn't want to be moored here in winter, would you?
Absolutely not.
Proper spooky.
Ooh.
It proper is. Can you not like smell like spookiness?
I can smell ghosts.
It might be washing actually. We need to do some washing. So there you go, Capernwray Arm. Are we off?
Let's go.
Hold me.
Oh.
Well, we're not having much luck finding a nice mooring to stay tonight, but we're not far from the end of the navigable canal now. So luckily, with the rain staying off and the countryside being just so lovely, even though it's getting late into the afternoon, we've decided to carry on and we're going to head for the visitor moorings at Tewitfield by the marina for a couple of days. I think Dylan's hungry too.
And this is where it ends. This is the end of the southern part of the Lancaster Canal. 20 odd miles of lock-free canal, one swing bridge, and that's it. It does carry on. The M6 is just on my right hand side, and there's a bridge, a road that carries it across the M6, and the canal is just on the other side of there. That's the northern reach of the Lancaster. Shall we go have a look? And this is where it starts again. This is now known as the northern reaches of the Lancaster Canal. It's not navigable anymore. 9 miles of it has still got water in it. You can see the locks, but you can't really get a boat down there anymore. You wouldn't want to try. 5 miles north of that to Kendal, a lot of it's been filled in. But there's some restoration on the way. As lovely as this canal is, you know, it nearly didn't happen at all. Way back in the 1700s, James Brindley was asked to survey for it. Now he got his apprentice, Robert Whitworth, to do the work for him. And he came up with a route that came from Kendal down to Lancaster and Preston. And then his plan was to go through Leyland and join the Lancaster with the Leeds-Liverpool Canal at Parbold. People didn't have the appetite for it for some reason. I mean, the snuff and tobacco curing industry were booming in Kendal. There was loads of traffic. But it never happened. Instead, they built the port at Glasson on the mouth of the Lune. It just made better sense at the time. But it wasn't over. And a few years later, John Rennie was approached and he was asked to survey for the Lancaster Canal. Now, he followed mostly the same route that Robert Whitworth had planned from Kendal down to Lancaster and into Preston, but his idea was to join onto the Ribble instead of going down to the Leeds-Liverpool. And that got passed. It got the funding, and in 1792 they started building it. 1819, 200 years ago this year, it was completed. And then a few years later, 1826, they built the Glasson Arm to join the Lancaster with that new port down at Glasson. But then in the 1960s, that thing spoiled everything. To be honest, it wasn't really the M6's fault. The canal had really gone into disuse. The railways were taking over, they were taking water out of the canal, and they were actually starting to fill it in up towards Kendal. So it wasn't looking that good. And by the time the 1960s came around, Department of Transport wanted to build that. And it basically cut straight through the Lancaster at Tewitfield. Was that it though? No. It was only a couple of years later that the Lancaster Canal Trust was formed. And they've been working for over 55 years to restore the Lancaster Canal, north of Tewitfield. 9 miles of the 14 miles that's not used anymore still has water to it, and the reservoir is still feeding the canal. And they've been working hard for many years, restoring the buildings, keeping the bridges and tunnels going, and actually working to reopen parts of the canal. It's probably not going to happen in my lifetime, but it'd be great, wouldn't it, to get that extra 14 miles from Tewitfield all the way into Kendal again. It is a really nice spot. If you're mooring up down at Tewitfield at the end of the canal, you can walk the 14 miles up to Kendal. And it's a beautiful walk. Don't get me wrong, you've got the M6 like 20 metres to my left, and you're always hearing that. But you can still get the bird song, and on this right-hand side, it is open countryside. You've got the water from the old disused locks, and it is a really nice walk. Albeit it would be better with a t-shirt and some sunshine today.
And this is where it ends. It's like it's over before it even began. We were having such a good time, and then it's done. Dead end. We've actually moored Silver Fox about 100 yards further back from this dead end. It feels a bit sad, doesn't it? Because it's like we're having such a good time, and it's like, right, it's over. You can see the wind's getting up, the rain's on its way. So we're going to hunker down and see you in a few days. See you later.
Next time on Britain by Narrowboats, we stop off at Garstang to check out the Wyre Aqueduct, and I change to a different type of transport to explore the canal. We rejoin some friends as we head back towards the Ribble Link, but there's drama as the boat struggles to fight against the tidal current on the River Ribble and stops us getting back to Tarleton.